You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app, and I have to give it to Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie. I can name maybe 2 of her songs at most, but I can recognize genius when it comes to business. And I would say this about people like Kim Kardashian. I don't like what she does, but I can't disrespect the business of turning nothing into something. You know, becoming a billionaire. Regardless of how you got there, you became a billionaire. And Taylor Swift is another person. Not only is she the top music artist in the world, right now she has the #1 movie in the world. And it's weird because Taylor Swift, the official release party of a showgirl, is only a behind-the-scenes look at the making of her record. In other words, it's just other material they're just repurposing and put it into a movie format. They went straight to AMC Theaters, which is the distributors, not a movie production company. It's AMC Theaters, which allowed it the widest coverage. That's genius. It was in 3,700 theaters, and it's the #1 movie in the world, and it grossed $50 million, $34 million domestic, $16 million international. Yeah, it didn't have any real competition as far as a first week release, but it's $50 million, and all they had to do was keep the cameras rolling while she was making her record.
She basically said, hey, take all this, edit it. We're going to put it in theaters again because I'm going to make 100% of that. I'm paying AMC basically to stream my film. This is a direct deal with me and AMC. I control the ticket sales, the time the film shows, all of that. It's a partnership with AMC. They can get the foot traffic. You sell the hot dogs and stuff like that. No Taylor Swift merchandise. You can't sell any merchandise.
Yeah, there's no like popcorn.
No, there's no tins, but I'm going to get all of that money. So I just made a quick 50 million just off the top.
And didn't do anything extra or special. It wasn't like they had to put together a movie. It was stuff that was just filming her while she was recording. Just it's basically exaggerated social media. You get to see more of what you didn't get to see before.
Yeah. You might get some behind the scenes of the engagement. Oh, her looking at her ring, stuff like that. But this is absolute genius. And she saw how much she made and how impactful the last film that she did was when it went to theaters. And this is also something for those fans who were not able to purchase those big ticket of the big tickets to the concerts. To the concerts. They say, look, I got something extra for you all. Come to your local theater. And they were packing those theaters out just to get a taste.
Per screen average, $9,200, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Per screen average. I'll give you an example or comparison. It's in 3,700 theaters. One Battle After Another, which came in second this week, is in 3,634 theaters. Comparable. The per screen average for One Battle After Another was only $3,000.
Wow.
Taylor Swift was 3 times that amount.
Kicking Leo's butt.
But speaking of One Battle After Another, in its second week, it's now crossed the $100 million worldwide box office take. And I don't know what the budget was, but it will make money.
I thought it was somewhere around 140 or 50, but I've heard different figures.
But it's still safe. It's the second week. It did not lose any theaters. It brought in 11 million domestically. It's in a real good position to have legs at least 5-6 weeks in theaters.
I hope so. I keep on reading that it's a flop, and that's going to affect whether or not movies like that are made again. So I hope it becomes a success. It wasn't a huge hit right out of the gate, though.
No, it wasn't, but I'm talking about it in terms of whether it makes its money back. Now, I can't deal with expectations. I'm just dealing with its listed budget, likely marketing and promotion. Let's say it was $200 million altogether, maybe that might be of some concern. But if it's in the $160 million range, I think it's going to be okay.
I hope people go see it. It's really good, and I hope we get more like it. I liked it.
The Smashing Machine, A24, the little movie studio which could. Smashing Machine came in third this week in its first week with $6 million. A24 is very good for not necessarily big budget pictures, but high concept ideas. They can produce on budgets under $75 million.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a slightly more bespoke Blumhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, or maybe, a Lionsgate back in the day.
Yeah.
They're not looking for huge numbers, but those are the companies which would be producing more daring movies. They are willing to take chances on movies.
They've got a good reputation, and people make a point of listing that it's an A24 movie when they mention them.
Yeah.
Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. I have no idea what this is. Gabby and Grandma Gigi's road trip takes an unexpected turn when Gabby's prized dollhouse ends up with eccentric cat Lady Vera. Sounds like a movie I just gotta see.
I don't even know what you just said.
Look, it's grossed $32 million worldwide, so somebody's out there seeing it.
I don't think we're the demographic for that.
Oh, we're not? Oh, okay. I'll just say Super Bowl halftime show. Not meant for me. Coming in number 5, Mark, The Conjuring, Last Rites.
I still haven't seen that.
It is now up to $459 million worldwide.
Good for them. The previous 3 of those movies were a lot of fun.
Demon Slayer came in number 6, is still hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
It has grossed $633 million worldwide. And honestly, movies like that, Demon Slayer and The Conjuring, even though this year is down box office wise, movies like that are really saving the box office. When you're getting these movies, which are getting $500 million, which really should not be expected to get $500 million, that ought to tell you. And Avatar: Way of Water 2025 re-release brought in $3 million. Boo.
That's trash.
Boo.
How dare they?
It's not like it's a 20-year-old movie. We got to re-release it to theaters. It's like 5 years old or something.
They're literally trying to account for that boastful lie of how much you made the first time around.
Oh, here we go with the Avatar trutherism.
Look, they're trying to make their dollars and their cents by forcing it upon the masses. Trash.
And I will not be seeing it this time either.
Well, true.
You don't know anyone that will.
Casper 2025 re-release. You're talking about lazy.
Is this where we're at now?
It's lazy.
Like theaters are just like, give me another.
They've turned themselves into a damn VHS video store.
Oh,
it's like they'll just put stuff up every now and then. Just in case you missed it 30 years ago. No one was asking for a Casper re-release.
They're redoing another anniversary triple play of Back to the Future. And I said to myself, well, that's just lazy. You already did that on the date that Back to the Future was supposed to have happened.
Yeah.
So why are you doing it now?
I don't know. When we come back, we have to talk about Lionel Richie and his thoughts on Michael Jackson. And I'm going to also tell you my similar stories of people in the industry. Lionel Richie, obviously, since Michael Jackson's been gone for some 16 years, believe it or not, he probably feels more comfortable with telling certain inside stories about MJ and others. And I'm going to tell you, not only am I okay with him telling the story, I pretty much believe it as well. We'll tell you why when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Lionel Richie has his new memoir out. It's titled Truly, which is also the name of one of his songs. Lionel Richie, and this is common of all these memoirs. It does not matter who it is. There are things, obviously, that people put in the books which will get people to buy them. It will generate interest for people to interview him or her regarding the book. Salacious, but more often than not, they are true. And Lionel Richie obviously has known Michael Jackson for most of Michael's life, if you know the history of Motown and CBS Records. And, with the Commodores, when Lionel was with the Commodores. But Lionel Richie said that Michael Jackson was nicknamed Smelly for poor hygiene and allegedly would wear pants until they were unwearable. That's what Lionel Richie had to say. When I saw this, I said, yeah, it's probably true. It probably is true. If only because when you're in the music industry, you are dealing with people not as celebrities. You're just dealing with them as people. You're rehearsing with them. Maybe you're on the road with them. You're hanging out with them. You're partying with them. You get to see the non-famous side of someone. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many times I told the story about Lenny Kravitz on here as far as how badly he smelled. And there are a number of people. There are singers that you wouldn't know the name of, but they're semi-famous who had horrible dental hygiene, all that kind of stuff. I did notice when you get to the super famous, the more disconnected those individuals happen to be with the things that we consider normal. Hygiene usually is one of them. Usually. They kind of do whatever they want, however they want, whenever they want, because nobody ever tells them no. There is no real guidance to say, hey, go wash your ass, take a shower, brush your teeth like a parent would. And so I've encountered a number of quote unquote celebrities with questionable hygiene.
Yeah. It's kind of part and parcel to the business. I mean, these people that you think are just, oh my God, they're so-and-so. And if you so happen to run up on them and maybe get a hug or whatever, you may find yourself wanting to go home and take a shower afterwards.
Well, put it this way. If a guy had a pet chimpanzee and was known for eccentricities, how much of a leap are we talking about where he probably had some sort of hygiene deficiency? What other weird stuff might that include?
Well, look, there are several groups who maybe the KFI audience wouldn't know. They wouldn't know some of these groups, but
no, they probably wouldn't.
Yeah, but there was a girl group by the name of Total. And one time they were a group that was under Bad Boy. And
we'll be talking about P. Diddy next.
And we did a show and they came through Artist Check-In. And I don't know who in the group, so I don't want to say all three of them. But one of them was ripe as orangutan ass.
Well, okay. When you say ripe,
horrible.
It's a girl group, so I have to ask the question. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think we should make a distinction. Was it like body odor or was it a feminine odor?
It was more of a feminine pungency.
Ooh.
And I just said, oh, hot damn, I need to go. I was there and I'm standing and one of them is standing in front of me and I'm like, is it the leather? Is it you? It's
a thing with leather though, because whenever I saw Lenny Kravitz, he was always wearing leather. Your story is leather. Someone in the chat, Tommy Godlove, reminded us of Matthew McConaughey. He doesn't wear deodorant. That's been publicly reported. That is common. Was it Ashton Kutcher? And I think Mila Kunis, they only bathe like twice a week or something like that. It's common in Hollywood, these weird hygiene practices. Me, you will never catch me on a day in which I didn't shower unless I am really, really sick and in the bed. And I'm not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere.
That's the only way. You're not going to catch me out in public. Like I take a shower before I go to work out, before I go to Hop Keto. One, because it's kind of expected. Cleanliness and hygiene is part of our dojang expectations. But also just me, I take a shower before I go work out. But in Hollywood, it's not all that uncommon for people to have questionable hygiene habits. And I say that because I wasn't surprised when Lionel Richie was quoted as saying that, Michael Jackson was nicknamed Smelly. I'm quite sure there are probably another 40, 50 people who could corroborate that story. He's not just making that up.
I mean, when you look back on any of those old school album covers from the 70s, you got dudes all bunched up together with no shirts on. There's some funky mofos.
Funky
mofo. A lot of leather. I always thought, what was the name of that group? Africa Bambaataa and them used to wear those gigantic outfits. All I could think to myself is, man, those brothers must be funky.
In the 70s, it was all about leather and exposed chests with chest hair. It just looked like everybody's sweating under those hot lights. Yeah. And this is not even a quote which is attributable to Lionel Richie. He's saying that Quincy Jones said it, and he also experienced it. But the quote of the nickname comes from Quincy Jones. And Quincy Jones was notorious for telling stories about people and letting all the business go before he died.
Yeah.
So all I say is people are going to give this a lot of press, including us, but I want you to put it in its correct context. This is nothing unusual. I'm sorry, you may gross you out. It grosses me out. But I'm saying within Hollywood, it's nothing unusual.
Yeah, but people stink. People stink.
Yeah. And I never met Michael Jackson. I met Janet, worked with Janet, but I never met Michael, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. I'm just saying from my professional experience of all these years of working in entertainment, that is not uncommon, and it's especially less uncommon when you get to the bigger and bigger and bigger stars. I'm saying they all have their quirks and, hygiene. You're Michael Jackson. Who is telling you no?
Now, see, conversely, when you brought Janet Jackson to the beat, I can tell you for a fact.
Yes, I did.
Standing next to her and taking a picture with her, she smells like kittens and rainbows and everything a woman is supposed to smell like.
True story.
I wanted to hug her and hold her so badly, but of course I was warned that I would be dead within a minute
because he had the bodyguards with her.
Yeah. Her assassin Navy SEAL like bodyguards will kill you if you touch her.
I have to say that is, since you mentioned that, one of the highlights of my life. On this particular day, I was escorting Janet Jackson around to the various radio stations because she was in tour support of Velvet Rope. You have a song come out, you have the artist go to the station and say, yeah, I got a new album. It's called The Velvet Rope, and yada, blah, blah, blah. And they get to do some interviews of what they call drops and liners of like, hi, my name's Janet Jackson. You're listening to 92.3 The Beat. LA is home for hip hop and R&B, whatever it was. Okay.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that was it.
And my job was just take her to the station and this, okay. And I would arrange the pictures. We'd say, all right, another 10 people come get in the picture with Janet Jackson. That was one of the best days of my life. And yes, she smelled like puppies and rainbows and kittens and all that.
Yeah.
Mark?
I assumed she'd smell nasty.
Mark.
Come on, Sam.
No.
There we go.
He earned it.
I can't.
Let's talk P. Diddy when we come back. KFI AM 640. Oh, yeah, and still, we have a huge Mo Kelly Halloween soiree party update, and it's going to blow your mind before the show's over.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Diddy, as you know by now, was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison. I can't say I was surprised, but I was kind of surprised at the length of the sentence. I thought it was going to be a little less than that. But then when you look deeper into the judge's decision, that there was, according to the judge, a need for deterrence. And he was unconvinced that if Combs is released, these crimes won't happen again. So in other words, there is a belief, at least from the judge, that Combs will go back to doing what he was doing before. And yeah, I agree with that, but I don't know from a legal standpoint whether that is within the bounds of the sentencing guidelines. But here's the larger issue. It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference because I would bet dollars to donuts he is going to be pardoned by Donald Trump, President Trump.
You think so?
I think he is. And the president, and part of what President Trump usually does, he talks about it to get people ready for him doing it. And he said, I think it was today that he said explicitly that Diddy had reached out to him asking for a pardon. Why he would mention that, I don't know, other than he's probably going to do it.
Well, he also said, I don't know about that because Diddy said some really nasty, terrible things about me while I was running. He didn't believe in me. He talked bad about me. He really was supporting the Democrats.
12. J.D. Vance called him America's Hitler and ended up as vice president.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm not going to put too much stock in. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So there are a lot of people who have criticized the civilian Donald Trump and the president Donald Trump. But if you play the right notes or sing the right tune after that, you can get what you want from Donald Trump.
He probably could use Diddy to, spread the word, preach the gospel about Trump's goodness. He definitely could do that.
And here's the reality. Donald Trump has been very close to music in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. He's had a relationship with Diddy on a New York level and a New York scene level for many years. They're not unfamiliar with each other. And for whatever reasons, he, as far as the pardoning of black people, for the most part, it has to do with entertainment.
Celebrities, absolutely.
Celebrities were connected to, we talked to Harry O, one of the founders of Death Row Records. We know his posthumous pardon of Jack Johnson, the boxer. There are a lot of things you can see patterns, and this is one of his patterns. This is something that he probably would do because it would be high profile. It's something that he can say he would probably make the argument that it was very unfair what happened to P. Diddy, even though there's no evidence to support that it was unfair. But that has been a familiar theme for him, a continuing theme about the supposed unfairness of the justice system. And he's more likely than not to pardon him. And I think he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell eventually. Now, whether he does it in the near term or whether he does it out the door at the end of his term, I don't know. But I'd bet dollars to donuts he's going to do that as well.
Well, he's talking about both of them within the space of today.
2 days.
So
He first he said, he said something to the effect of, paraphrasing, Ghislaine Maxwell. It's like, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Well, you just talked about her 2 months ago. Stop it. You just sent your, deputy attorney general to talk to her in her prison cell, and all of a sudden she ended up in a better prison location. So stop that. But yes, both names came up in regard to pardons today out of his mouth, and he didn't rule out either.
Yeah. I actually, in looking at Diddy's sentencing, for the first time in the history of America, trying popular or celebrity African-American men, I thought that his sentence was actually just by way of charging him with the Mann Act, which does carry some 3 to 4 years. And I know that the judge said, I'm making sure that I give you the extent of this because of my feelings about things that I think you should be charged for that I can't. So I'm going to make sure I at least make sure that you get served the maximum for this Mann Act. But still, for if he would have been charged more than that, then I would have actually cried foul, because I'm like, well, that's not what he was on trial for, because everyone wants him to get tried for things that he did in the past that were not connected to the actual case. So in looking at his sentencing, I'm like, okay, that was fair.
Yeah. Look, there's been a lot of discussion about the sentence, and I think people are missing the bigger picture. This sentence is likely not going to stand because of a pardon. And yes, he's going to monetize all of this. He's going to drop a book. He's going to turn it into a movie. And I'm not saying he shouldn't, because that's the American way, and that would be his right as a free person at that point. Mm-hmm. You can't monetize your crimes while you're a prisoner, but there are too many ways that he's going to make money about this, and I don't begrudge him for that. I just think that people who have missed the bigger picture just altogether. This is not about the sentence. This is about the eventual pardon.
The interviews alone that he will be charging money for. The first interview, the second interview, he will be charging for at least the first 4 to 5 interviews after he is released. Plus, he still has, people forget, he still does own Bad Boy and the catalog and all that. Whatever he owns, he still owns. So he's not necessarily hurting because of this sentencing. He'll be fine when he gets out. He will.
He'll be fine. He'll absolutely be fine. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're going to check in with George Norrie when we come back. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Let's find out what's coming up with Coast to Coast AM and George Norrie. Hey, George.
Hi, Mo. We're going to talk about some real science and gravity and how it affects all of us. And then later on in the show, a little walk on the paranormal side on Coast to Coast.
All right. I can't wait. I love the paranormal side.
See you in minutes.
All right, then. Before we go, just got to let you know, when we did the first year of the Halloween soiree, it was a tremendous success. I loved it. It was something that was more than I thought it would be. Your response to it was fantastic as well. And it was something I think everyone enjoyed and thought that it's something that we should do every single year. And I agreed with you. I think it was something we should do every single year. Start of an annual tradition. And we could just own it with Halloween. October 31st, there'll be our thing. Like, it just be our annual thing where we would have the Later with Mo Kelly Halloween soiree. So are you ready for the big announcement? Sam, you ready for the big announcement?
Oh, yeah. I am pumped.
Okay. Mark, are you ready for the big announcement? Because I haven't even told you yet.
I'm not sure. What if it's too big?
Well, it's not too big.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll fit, Mark.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to leave that alone.
Let's have it.
I'm going to leave that alone. Well, I don't know. Should I tell him tonight, Tuwala?
I don't know. I mean, Sam, do you have a drum roll maybe handy?
No. We got to wait. It has to be the last thing they hear right before we sign off. Because I want to leave them with their mouths open. They're not going to believe what I'm getting ready to tell them, given the success of this last year. Given how well it was received last year.
It's a lot of innuendo for this announcement.
Eric Lasardo has put drum rolls in the Momigos chat. Daryl Sexton says, yes. Just Me says, great show. Thank you. The anticipation is killing me. I want to tell them. I want to just get it over with and let them know. Tuwala, should I make him wait till tomorrow night?
No, let it out, Mo. It'll feel good.
Yeah, you got to get
let it out.
DK Fuel says, I'm excited. Daryl Sexton says, you get tickets, you get a ticket. I can't wait to see their expressions when I tell them. I cannot wait to see them. Mark, you really don't know?
Listen, nobody likes a dirty tease.
It's a clean tease. It's clean.
Dirty.
It's nothing dirty about this.
Let's have it.
No. You didn't hear. You didn't. But about all the emails.
Nobody tells me anything ever here. I'm the last to find out.
You haven't heard Tuwala and I talk about this?
No.
Wow, Mark, I would have thought you would heard.
Oh my goodness, I am really disappointed. I thought you were one of the team in the show where you knew about everything which was going on with the show. Well, just Me says we're ready. No, you're not ready for this. You are not ready for what I'm about to tell you. And let me just say, Just Me, that's the person's handle. It is 100% true. It is 100% true. So say it now, please. Okay. I have been talking with station management. I've been talking with various vendors, people who are going to give us food, people who are going to work security for us. And here is the big announcement for year 2 of the annual Later with Mo Kelly Halloween soiree. Tuwala, should I give it to him now?
Give it to him.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to immediately sign off. Immediately. So, Daniel, as soon as I announce this, fade to black. Immediately. Because I'm not going to even wait for all the comments. Just know that I'm telling you the truth. All right, here it is. Let me stretch out. We ran out of drum roll. All right.
It was a minute-long drum roll.
Well, here we go. Give me one more minute. I'm waiting. I need the drum roll.
This better be good.
Oh, it's good. It's going to blow your mind. The 2025 Later with Mo Kelly Halloween soiree has been canceled due to circumstances beyond our control. KFI AM 640, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.